Welcome back, everybody, to the Straight Up podcast with Zuzu and Aesha. What we're going to talk about today is a topic on basics. So we're going to go back to basics and basically trusting the people before us, our ancestors.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. It's been such a fast-paced world, right? Like, just look back in our own life. The growth in technology and information has been, so fast. Like, considering we didn't grow up with mobile phones, we didn't grow up with the internet, Wi-Fi, any of that stuff, Bluetooth, and I think just in my lifetime, the expansion of technology and information has been, it's crazy how fast that's grown, but it's come at a cost. I feel, like you say, a lot of the wisdom and basic fundamentals of life, which give us a strong sense of foundation or, stability. We lost that in that process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think definitely as we've advanced our technologies, we've definitely made life a lot more complicated.
And easier,
And
but yeah.
Easier, but complicated in a way that when things are feeling too stressful in a way for certain people, not being aware of picking up your phone, say you first thing in the morning and flicking through Facebook, doing little things like that, or coming home after work, being present at home but not really being present.
Yeah, like being there but not
being there but not being there. Yeah. Can really add to the confusion of why someone feels a certain way or feels lost within themselves, I think. And the thing that I heard on a podcast, like David Goggins' podcast, for example, was he was talking about our generation, or I'd say the generation just below me, the younger ones, because people in their 30s were at a time where we didn't have as much technology with our phones and whatnot now. But the kids coming up have constant noise in their lives. Stimulation and noise. There is no quiet time, quietness. From the moment they wake up to they fall asleep looking at their phone.
Yeah.
Basically using everything, literally everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just explaining how a lot of he believes that a lot of things that come back to anxieties and depressions and stresses in young teens and stuff can be helped by just going back to your basics.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, that's been a journey for me as well. Like, I think with the age of just even information consumerism, which is like we have access to so much information, even we get confused to work out, the latest this comes out, the latest that comes out, and we're like always, we're pulled in one direction or another, right? And I've done it, even if it's to do with eating well or exercising or say meditation. There's so many ways you can be pulled, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a topic that is not like for growth. Even in self-development world, there are so many avenues you can be pulled towards, and I did fall into that trap of like fucking trying this now, and the next thing I'm going to try that. And when that ran its course and I got exhausted, I was exhausted because I was like, what is now next? Keeping up with the next thing, and you never complete one because the next thing has come out, right? I actually had to just give it all up and go, oh, fuck man, I'm just gonna go back to basics.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna find what the fundamentals are. Just think about a gym, right? There's so many machines and stuff and everything, and what people are going back to now is squatting.
Yeah.
Just squat.
Going back to the primal movements.
The foundational movements.
Yeah.
Yes, you have variations, right? But what does a trainer always gets you to do to establish the self is foundational movements.
Yeah.
Same in life, I feel like when we sort of go on this ride of like trying this, trying that, you do actually go back when you've exhausted yourself, when you've exhausted your mind, your physical self. You do end up searching back to fuck. Let me just go back to square one. Let me actually be good at doing step one.
Yeah. It's almost like we have too many options.
Too many.
And through that we find confusion and complication.
Well, we don't even complete something, right? Because the new fucking shiny object shows up.
And do you feel like that's fear of missing out?
Yeah, man. A big part of it is like, oh, am I going to not
Keep up.
Yeah, keep up with the whatever. And it can show up in weird ways, huh?
100%.
Like it could be like, look at crypto, everyone that's not doing crypto, fuck, am I going to miss out? But then there are so many other ways of like financially, you know, developing yourself.
Yeah.
But it's so distracting to think, oh, my 5 friends are doing it, so am I missing out on something?
Yeah.
What is the latest thing?
And don't get us wrong. Like there's opportunities, certain opportunities that you might pass up on, and they end up working for someone else.
Yeah.
But opportunities are everywhere. People think this is it. This is my only chance.
Yeah.
So they don't look past that, and then there comes the anxiety of missing out.
Yeah, 100%. And you were, what you were talking about like ancestors and all that stuff. And if you look back, right, we are different. You know, culturally we were born in a different culture. Even physically we were born in a different part of this earth. That is not a mistake, right? There's animals that are born in certain continents, and they're not born in certain continents. That is not by mistake. That is by design. And so when you look back and you think, yeah, look, our elders and our wise people, they knew stuff because they worked one with nature, they worked one with the land, they worked one with the environment around and stuff, right? What has happened now is like we are trying to mix, which is great, but also I think a certain part of that our ancestor, our background plays a part. We're forgetting that too, right? And I think like if you go back to ancient texts, ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, they do you know, talk about all that, tapping into your own coding and not forgetting that. You know, like think about it in diet, right? So many people are choosing to be vegan, vegetarian, or even like eat meat, but they're not working with their own in coding, authentic coding. They're working with what their mind believes, right? So one way could work for someone, and one way could be disruptive.
They're working off someone else's belief system.
Yeah, and what works for someone else.
That's it.
Based on their anatomy, their biology, their background, where they grew up, how can even food be the same? Right? Our gut information is different even. You know?
Of course, our DNA it comes back to the DNA, like we said, genetically we're different.
Yeah.
You know, if you come from, say, India, and someone comes from Italy.
Yeah, think about even food, what is available.
Exactly, if you're European but you come from Asia, part of Asia compared to Europe, it's going to be different.
So different.
And your gut doesn't adjust to where you are in the world. Your thought.
Oh, I want to now be this.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know, a reason why we're also speaking about this topic is a video that I watched that my father-in-law sent me about a nutritionist and a fitness expert, you can call it. And at age 16, she decided to become vegetarian. After reading the information that was out there, I'm going to call it the fad. Because it's like what we said before. We have access to too many options, too much information. We could sit there and Google without even searching half the things will give you related stuff. Right? So
100%.
it will try to tell you this is what you want to know.
This is what you want to know.
Okay.
This is where you should.
So at 16, she started to read and go, oh no, there's a study saying meat can do this to you, create this to you, it's not good for you, whatnot. So she became vegetarian, but from the age of 16 to 30, and she was a person who exercises on a daily and lifts weights, and so she started to actually have a downward spiral in her health from 16 to 30, and her understanding was she can get iron from greens, but what she didn't look into properly enough was that you can't get the same iron that you were deficient in from greens, unless you eat bucket loads of spinach to get the same from a piece of steak, for example, right?
Okay.
So at 30, she made a conscious decision to go, okay, I'm going to go back on the red meat.
Yeah.
And then since then, she's actually felt healthier, she's felt better emotionally, whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So.
And that makes sense because, do you know what? And that's not saying some people that are vegetarian don't feel fresh and energized. They do, but her body was different. Her makeup was different. Her gut microbiomes were different.
Yeah. She made the mistake of trying to follow something that someone else is telling her to do, and not listening to herself.
Yes. And I think that's what it's coming back to with everything, right? There's so much influences that are promoting one way or the other that I think that, at the end of the day, it's like you really have to sit with yourself and say, hey, when do I feel good?
Yeah.
Like if I do this, some people are long distance runners, some people are sprinters. Now, if I told them it's only like fitness is only like sprinting, bro, that's not going to feel right for the long distance runners. They're made differently. And it's like now I think that it's really important within a household, within yourself even, to take just that time to not worry about what everybody else is doing, not even your friends. Like really sit down and see what makes me feel the best. And the best doesn't always mean hyper and positive. It means at peace. It means I'm balanced. I can emotionally respond in a better way. I physically feel good. I wake up feeling good from a sleep and not. So I think there's so many ways we can actually assess ourselves, and you do. Those are indications that you're on the right track. When you are waking up feeling energized, when you are feeling like, oh yeah, I actually have more of an understanding of other people's perspectives too. I'm able to sit still in that, not reactive. Those are the universe giving back messages that hey, keep continuing on your way of being. Right, and then you'll see, like I also tried with diet just to cut this out, not have this, try that. Bro, I could feel in my body when I was feeling exhausted, no matter how healthy I was doing and what I was doing, something didn't work for me, and I think it's very, very important. There's so many options of like now I look at it, I really do cold showers, my meditation, my breath work, right, and obviously taking in the sun and my water. That is it. My fundamentals are that, and all I do is strengthen my foundations. I'm not worried about going to an oxygen chamber somewhere and or needing to go to cryo. No, I don't need to. I can have my cold shower in my shower. I can structure my water at home. I don't need to do the fanciness of it. I just need to strengthen the foundation of those 4 or 5 things that I do every day. And I feel it's like the more I focus on that strengthens itself anyway, and it pulls into other areas of my life. What about you?
Yeah. No, I agree. And going back on the part when you were saying to sit, basically just sit there with yourself, sit still and work out who you are. A big thing of doing that is letting go of the technologies, the things that we think we need around us all day, like the phones and stuff. If you go home and sit there but have your phone on loud, you can sit for 5 minutes and get a notification. So I think if everyone tried switching the phone on silent when they get home, sitting in a room, eyes closed, and you'll start to learn a lot about your body. Will start telling you a lot of things, right? Your mind will start telling you a lot of things. And it might filter through, but your inner guidance will start talking. And I think until, I know for myself when I do that, like same thing, I do the cold showers and all this, but I know, I'm aware when I'm too much on this phone. Right? I know.
Now you are. Now you are. Because why? Because you started to create a bit of space.
And what happens is you start doing this. And then your head starts going, what are you doing? Stop. Get off it now. And you're like, you're stuck. It drains you. So, exactly what you said about the foundation side. I can do cold showers, eat healthy, meditate, whatnot. But if I'm sitting there trying to meditate on my phone is right next to me.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah, exactly. There's
making
there's
noises,
there's
messages.
Yeah.
I'm not really there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if everyone tried to turn that phone off a little bit, don't have to watch Netflix all night. You know what I mean? Just sit there and start to actually understand what your body is trying to tell you, because our ancestors didn't have all of these distractions. They had different distractions, but not technology like this. And if you
Not constant, man.
Not constant.
This is goes within the toilet.
that's what I mean.
This is in while you're sleeping in the
Yeah.
bed. This is with you while you're driving. This is when your kid's trying to talk to you while you're cooking. When is it not there, right?
Yeah.
So I think I completely agree with you, and I think that, you know, but that's where we really, really have to now be an example for our kids and stuff. That, you know, we're gonna go back to basics. Think about even relationships. On a thing with relationships, whether they're friendships or romantic relationships. Yeah. How many relationships are now dominated by social media and the social media platforms and stuff? And how many?
All are dominated by TV shows.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And how many are authentically where the phone actually doesn't get priority? You actually have real interaction, right?
Yeah.
Where you're not distracted when someone's trying to talk to you. Your attention's not going to go, oh, who's messaging me?
Yeah.
Like, how many authentic relationships are still exist like that? How many even parent-child relationships exist like that, man? How many parents know about their child through their social media platform? Oh my God, my kid went there and did that. But they don't have this.
No. And if it all it
Think
takes
about it.
sometimes is to sit there,
That's right.
when you're out in public, cafe, wherever you are, sit there and you observe and you see the kid saying, Mum, Mum, Mum,
Yes,
Mum,
yes,
I want this, Mum, Mum,
yes.
or Dad, and
Yes.
so on.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or
So-
you're in the car, right? And two people are in the car, man, and they're on their device. They're two couples. I've seen couples in the. I was like, man, in that moment, that person is right in front of you, and you're still connecting to someone who's not even there.
Yeah.
So you know, it's
We're getting lost, man.
we're getting lost,
We're getting
man.
lost. We're getting caught
Because
up. We're
what is
getting
the
lost.
foundation again? The foundation is, hey, man, when you're with something, when you're with someone, that's where your attention is required in that moment, and you are actually projecting it somewhere else. Yeah. And that's why so many things break down, because they're not fundamental. They're not basics. They're a sidetrack thing. Like, yes, you can connect to someone on the phone or somewhere. Yes, there is a time and space for that too.
100%.
But man, if someone is sitting in front of you and you're choosing to not be present with them, but you're avoiding something within you. You're avoiding the foundation, the fundamental thing of connection, right? So I think even food, going back to food, we know to eat healthy. We know, man. We know that we shouldn't eat when we're not hungry. We know what healthy food is. Do you know, if we didn't have any access to dietitians and that, we just know, we know what's healthy food.
You know when you feel
We
shit,
know
you know when you feel good,
yeah,
right?
but we're still looking for information to tell us that you need to eat healthy and
Exactly.
don't eat overeat.
Yeah.
And fasting's good.
And you know what's crazy?
That's nuts.
The thing that's nuts is we look at, everyone's got ancestry. Everyone, it doesn't matter where you're from in this world, you
Yeah.
have some sort of ancestry,
Yeah.
right? And you have people before you.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
And we look at their achievements of what they did in this world, what they built,
Yeah.
without anywhere near the technology we have.
Yes, access to that information.
Without access. We still can't do that shit today.
Yeah.
So I think that's even more proof in the pudding that going back to basics is something where life should really start heading back that way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think, the way we started was at home. It's like, you can create that at home. Like, think about what did your parents eat when you started introducing the kids to it. Like, I know, like, being of Indian descent, like, we did eat rice, and so many people go, oh, carbs. I'm like, man, there's so many people in India that eat rice. They're not overweight.
No,
they're
they're
not. They're fit.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? And that's what you've got to tap into. It's like, okay, let me see. Let me not just accept the latest fad. And if you drink wine, I don't drink wine for health. And someone in Italy drinks wine, and it's a different benefit because of their makeup.
Exactly right. Yeah. Genetic makeup.
Yeah. So I think it's a really good thing. It's like whatever you do in life, I really do believe that it's very confusing right now. Like there's so much out there, and I think the best way to start is actually to scrap everything that has been happening in your mind, what you see, what you read. Because for an argument for, there's always an argument against. There is. You'll always find, chocolate's good for you, chocolate's bad for you. You'll find it. Exactly what you said, man. Just go back to asking your body and really sitting and listening to your body. Do I feel good? Does it give me energy? And going back to basics and going, like, you know what, I'm going to start fresh. What feels good? Running or walking? Weight training or hip training? You can mix it up. You can try it for yourself. And I think it's really, really important that, we start to listen to ourselves. And we start to be sovereign in us.
Be present with ourselves first.
Yeah.
Make time to put all the technology, all that shit that's distracting you throughout your day.
Go back to being raw and
put it
real.
away. Yeah. Put it away. Give yourself the respect that it deserves. To listen to it. Sit there and start trying to be at some peace.
Yeah. And your body's always communicating. Your thoughts are also always communicating. If it's too complicated and your mind's racing, like bring it back to stillness. Bring your body back to that too. You don't need to overexpose it with this, that, the other. It fucking needs to be listened to. If you allow that space. Agreed, man. And you look at kids, they know. Kids know.
Kids do know. They know as they start to grow, then they start falling into the ego.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, that one's doing that, but like, kids know, man.
But
kids know
before they know what that person is doing, what they have
they're doing
is, I'm hungry,
Yeah.
I'm tired,
Yeah.
I need attention,
Yeah.
I need to get my nappy changed.
Yeah, exactly.
They're very in touch with
them,
what their body needs, what their body's telling them to do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Agreed. Cool. Sign it off.
Thanks, guys. So that's our episode on back to basics and trusting our ancestors. I hope you guys
Our own wisdom.
Our own wisdom. Listening to yourselves instead of all that noise that's around you constantly with technology and getting caught up with what's on TV and whatnot. Just take the time to sit there, switch everything off, close your eyes, and really get in touch with your inner guidance, I guess.
100%.
All right, so same thing again, please subscribe, and any questions, any topics you want us to talk about, there's nothing too silly, so feel free to leave comments for us.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And we are going to have different people and different guests coming on.
We are. We'll soon have a guest coming on, one of our pro fighters, MMA fighters from the gym.
Yeah.
So it will be good to, and if you have questions that you want us to ask him as well, please leave them in there.
Yeah.
It will be good to see, other people's perspectives.
Exactly. And their journeys and their stories. Yeah. Cool. All right. So next time, guys. Ciao.
See ya.